everyone in town has been talking about because I'm special and they're miffed. They think I've gotten all uppity and highfalutin since I found out that the National Enquirer is going to come and tell a story about me. It's going to be a whole lot better than that story that they did last year about those people that thought they saw Mary Magdalene over the overpass. Because I've got Jesus right on my refrigerator. And that's a darn sight better than Mary Magdalene. Well, it all started when I came downstairs last Sunday and I wanted to get some buttermilk because my stomach was really hurting. And I went downstairs and I turned on the light and I saw this big brown spot right smack on my refrigerator. And it was a brand new refrigerator and I had just cleaned it the night before. So I went closer and I looked at the refrigerator and it looked like an image of a person's face. First I thought it was Elvis, but then I looked closer and it was him. Plain and simple, it was Jesus. That got me a little bit nervous. So I went back into the front room and I sat down to figure it out and calm myself down. And I thought about it all night long. Of all the refrigerators in all of Radford, Virginia, why mine? And finally, about dawn, it finally came to me. When I was about 7 years old, I went to play next door in this vacant lot that had all this garbage. It was the house right next to the Hicksman's house, and the Hickmans lived right next to me. And I know when you think of why would a little girl play in a filthy garbage dump? Well, it was better than playing with Susie Hickman. She lied, and all she ever wanted to do was play school all the time. So I was having the time of my life. I was playing war, and that I was a doctor, and I had my little doctor's kit with me, and I had this white towel that I wrapped around my neck like Florence Nightingale. And I spied this freezer, and I thought, well, I'll just go into that freezer, and I'm going to pretend like it's a trench, and I'm going to go down there and save a wounded soldier. So I went into the freezer, and I shut down the top. It was all black. And then I tried to get out, and I kicked and punched, and I was trapped like a fish on a hook, and I screamed, and I kicked, and I punched, and I kicked, and then I started crying, and knocking, and crying, and crying, and crying. And then I started praying. And you know, the weird, amazing thing was that my parents never took me to church. They had never been to church. And we didn't even have a TV. And I was only 7. I didn't really know how to read. So I'm thinking maybe I saw somebody praying, or maybe just instinct. But either way, I prayed for my life like a 7-year-old little girl would do. I said, oh, please, God, please don't let me die in here. Please, I promise if you save me, I'll be the best little girl in the whole wide world. And I promise that I'll go to church every Sunday from now on. Please don't let me die. And then, suddenly, the lid just popped open and I jumped out of there. And I looked around, and I thought this bum would be there. He's always scavenging for food there. There was nobody there. I guess you know where I was for the next Sunday and the Sunday afterwards. I was at church for sure, yes. The third pew down right next to that stained glass picture of Jesus saved. He was raising Lazarus at the First Methodist Church. Yes, yes sirree. For the next 40 years. Except last Sunday. I had the worst headache I've ever had. And Mrs. Hutchinson came over and she got me supper. And I guess it must have worked because probably about an hour and a half later it cleared. And then a few hours after that, in the middle of the night, that's when I came down to get the buttermilk. And the rest is history, as they say. I figured it out. I think Jesus decided if I couldn't come to his house, he'd come to mine. That's twice in my life that Jesus has come to me. Of course, I also saw Elvis last summer. I was out in the backyard digging potatoes, and I pulled up this huge spud, and I looked at it. I wouldn't have been surprised if it started singing, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And I'll tell you one more thing. I've never told a soul this. It's the weirdest thing that's happened in my entire life. I saw Taylor Swift on a potato chip. And she's not even dead yet. Thank you.